What it really means when a married man wants you. Carl Jung. Imagine this. You're living your life. You're not chasing anything. You're not even asking for attention. But then he appears. He's charming, attentive. He listens. He lingers. But there's a problem. He's already taken. A wife, a girlfriend, a family maybe. And yet, something in his presence pulls you in. Or maybe, something in you responds to his energy. You didn't start this, but now you're here. And the question echoes, what does it really mean when a man who's committed wants you? Let's go deeper, not with judgment, but with truth. Because according to Carl Jung, this isn't about romance. It's not even about you. It's about him and what's unresolved inside him. When a man reaches for another woman while already in a relationship, it's rarely just lust. It's rarely even about the woman herself. It's about a longing to meet something he has lost within himself. Jung called this the pursuit of the anima, the feminine energy within a man's unconscious. It's not just a woman he wants. It's the feeling he believes she will awaken in him, a sense of vitality, mystery, possibility, a spark he once had, or never did. And so, he projects this need onto a real person, onto you, not because of who you are, but because of what you represent to him. It's like holding a glass to his own emptiness and thinking that your presence will fill it. But here's the truth. You were never meant to carry that weight. Many women blame themselves. They ask, did I invite this? Was I too open? Is there something wrong with me for even responding? Let me be clear, your energy is not the problem, but it is magnetic. And if it awakened something in him, it says more about his absence than your presence. Because a man who is whole, a man who is aligned, a man who honors the vows he made, will feel attraction, yes. But he will contain it. He will respect it. He will choose not to act on it. The fact that he reached for you doesn't mean you're special, and it doesn't mean you're not. It means he is split inside himself. And Jung warned us about this split, about the man who lives on the surface but is ruled by what he refuses to look at, who smiles in the daylight but is led by shadows at night. If you've ever found yourself caught in this emotional triangle, or on the edge of one, you know how confusing it can be. You tell yourself, he must really feel something, or he wouldn't risk it. He must be unhappy in his relationship. He must see something in me that no one else does. But that's the story your heart tells itself, to soften the edges of chaos. Because the truth is harder. A man can crave connection without being ready for it. He can pursue depth while still living shallow. He can long for your light but still live in a room full of closed doors. And Jung knew, the unconscious seeks balance. So if a man feels lost, numb, lifeless, his psyche will look for the opposite to restore him. But if he hasn't done his inner work, he won't see you clearly. He'll see a version of you that matches his need, not your reality. So what does he want from you? Validation, mystery, the feeling of being alive again. He wants the illusion of a second chance, without facing the truth about the first one. He wants your softness but not your needs. He wants your light, but not your boundaries. He wants the way you see him, but not the mirror you'd eventually become. Because make no mistake, the deeper your connection becomes, the more he would have to confront who he really is and what he has left unresolved. And unless he's done that work, he won't stay. He can't. Not without breaking something, you or him. You were not born to be anyone's emotional rehab. You were not created to carry what another refuses to hold. When he comes to you with words like, I've never felt this before. You're different. She doesn't understand me like you do. These aren't always lies, but they're not truths either. They are projections, whispers from a broken self, longing to escape responsibility and feel good again. But what happens when that high wears off? When you begin to want more? When you ask, where is this going? What am I to you? That's when the distance begins. That's when the story starts to fracture. Because for him, this wasn't about building something. It was about escaping something, and Carl Jung reminds us, anything that begins in the shadow must be brought to the light, or it will destroy both the seeker and the source. So no, it's not your fault. But yes, you have a choice. You can step back. You can ask the deeper question, why did I let this get this far? What in me responded to something that I knew wasn't aligned? Because as much as he is projecting onto you, you may be projecting something onto him. Maybe you thought he saw the real you. Maybe you believed you were finally being chosen. Maybe you felt for once like you mattered, and that's where it gets painful. Because maybe, just maybe, it's not the man you wanted. It's the feeling, the moment, the reflection, the idea that you could be worth chasing. But let me tell you, you don't need someone else's chaos to prove your value. You don't need to be desired in secrecy to know you are enough in the open. You don't need stolen moments to feel wanted. Because your worth was never meant to live in the margins of someone else's life. You are not a detour. You are not a pause. You are not a thrill in the middle of someone else's confusion. You are a mirror, a soul, a woman whose presence wakes things in others, but is not responsible for what they do with that awakening. And Jung said it best, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life true and you will call it fate. So let him deal with his fate. Let him face his mirror, and let you rise, free from the weight of what was never yours to carry. The hidden patterns that make you say yes. Before we continue, a gentle reminder. If parts of this message are resonating with you, you may want to explore the Jung Method, a deeply reflective tool to help you understand your patterns, reclaim your inner voice, and finally align with the life you deserve. The link is in the first comment. Now, back to the truth that's been waiting. So far, we've explored why he wants you, but let's be honest, that's only half of the story. Because he can want, but it's you who allows, you who opens, you who lets it linger. Even if only in your mind at first, and that's not weakness. That's not failure. That's a signpost that something inside you has been hungry for attention, depth, connection, even if it came from the wrong place. Carl Jung spoke often of the shadow, not just in others, but in ourselves. The parts of us we bury, the needs we ignore, the desires we label as wrong, so they go underground and show up in ways we don't expect. So, if you found yourself pulled into something that doesn't align with your values, it's not because you're broken. It's because something in your shadow was speaking. Let's name it. Maybe you've spent your whole life being the good woman, the one who waits, who gives, who puts everyone first and herself last. And then, this man sees you, desires you, and for once you feel visible, chosen, needed. But here's the truth. Being seen by someone unavailable isn't real visibility. It's emotional bait. And if you're starving, even crumbs can taste like a meal. So ask yourself honestly, what did I hope to feel through this connection? Not what you hoped he would do, but what you hoped to feel. Safe, wanted, finally enough? Because that's the root. That's the thread that leads back to the wound. And until that part of you is acknowledged, until she is seen, held, and healed, you will always find yourself repeating the same emotional pattern in different clothes. Jung believed that we are drawn to people not just because of attraction, but because they reflect a part of us we have not yet made peace with. So when you are pulled to someone unavailable, you must ask, what am I still unavailable to within myself? Is it your truth? Is it your anger? Is it your right to be fully chosen, not hidden, not negotiated, but claimed? Because sometimes being the other woman isn't about seduction. It's about self-abandonment disguised as connection. You let yourself be part of a half-truth because you've forgotten how to stand in your whole truth. Let's be honest. It's not just the man who's conflicted. You may be too, because there's a part of you that knows this isn't safe. This won't last. This will end in heartbreak or guilt, or both. And yet, you stayed. Why? Because pain is familiar. Because you've confused chaos with chemistry. Because deep down you were afraid that no one free would choose you. So you accepted someone who wasn't. Let that sink in. Not with shame, but with compassion, because that's how healing begins. Carl Jung said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And sometimes we use other people as distractions from our own inner emptiness. But here's the good news. Awareness changes everything. The moment you name the pattern, you loosen its grip. The moment you see why you stayed, you can finally choose to walk away. You don't have to keep betraying yourself just to feel wanted by someone who can't fully give." Let's get practical now. If you're in a situation like this, or healing from one, what can you do? 1. Write the truth, not the story. Sit down. Write exactly what happened. No filters, no fantasy. Not what you wished it was, but what it really was. Then read it aloud. Hear the parts you've been avoiding. That clarity will hurt, but it will also liberate. Name the need behind the attraction. Ask, what was I craving? Was it protection, validation, passion? Now, how can I begin to give that to myself without using someone else's confusion as a source? You'll find that the more you meet your own needs, the less magnetic, unavailable energy becomes. Close the loop energetically. Even if you're no longer in contact, the bond may still be open. You think of him. You wait for messages you feel unfinished. Write a letter you'll never send. Say everything, then burn it. Release the tie. You're not breaking a bond. You're reclaiming your power. Choose someone who chooses you. Not in theory. Not one day. Not when it's convenient. Someone who sees you, wants you, claims you, and in the light. If that sounds rare, it's because you haven't believed you deserve it yet, but you do. You always have. You were not born to be an option. You are not here to be hidden. Your love is not meant to live in stolen moments or whispered promises. Carl Jung reminds us, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But transformation only happens when both are present, whole, and willing. Half love will never create full healing. So if you've been here, in this space of emotional in-betweenness, this is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new one. One where your worth is not defined by someone else's inability to commit. Where your beauty is not measured by who desires you, but by how you honor yourself. You are not too much. You are not too intense. You are not a mistake. You are simply awakening. And with that awakening comes a choice to keep repeating what wounds you, or to start choosing what restores you. So choose, not from fear, not from longing, but from truth, and let that truth lead you back to yourself.